That's right.
And in these states, all of our lives matter.
Including yours.
We are one race, and that's the human race. And the only color President Trump sees is green.
Ching-ching.
And he wants you to have some of it. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Trump's your president. So get over it. Stop crying like a baby and a little bitch. You mad that Kamala. That is him trying to tell you that Trump's a ball. He's a baller. A shot caller. I hope he builds that damn wall till he taller. Build that wall. Build it tall. Protect us all before this country falls. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Now you can go around acting like that Trump. Take a look in the mirror. You just got strong. So you tell your fans to draw a line in the sand to make the truth between you and him like you the man. So let me tell you something that you really need to know. A lot of your fans work for Trump, so maybe you need to go. So tell the NFL they should stand up and still a kneeling on the flag trying to pull us up. And they can take a knee and kneel during halftime, but don't do it on our watch time or our time. It's sad that you had to use racism to make a connect, but with our rhyme, we're just keeping you in check.
Ooh, y'all.
Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president.
Part 2.
Now we don't care if you black, white, or pinstripe. If you are a Republican or Democrat. If you are a liberal or conservative. If you are gay or straight. If you are an American citizen. In case you don't know. In case you forgot. In case you suffering from amnesia. Guess what? Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. So take a look around you. What do you see? The same old bullshit staring back at you and me.
The Senate, the Congress, the Democrat side, some in the Republican camp, it's all the same guy.
To all the haters, the race baiters, the agitators, and the demonstrators.
Even the ones that want to leave cause they're really whack. Pack your coat, pack your hat, don't you come back.
And when the president decided to drain the swamp to benefit people, even if you're in a dump.
Lower taxes, more money, jobs from overseas, immigration enforcement, no more freebies.
Believe that and don't forget it.
Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president. Trump's your president. He's a baller, baby. He's your president. He's your president. And he's gonna win again. He's your president. He's your president. It's about time that you melted down snowflakes. Take a seat, listen up, zip it up with some tape. Trump's your president. He's your president. He's your president.
Because Trump is the man with the master plan, and all he wants to do is make America great again.
Oh, yes, y'all. Trump is your president. Y'all better recognize that Trump is your president, baby. Damn, I'm so grateful. I am so grateful that President Trump is the president. Lord, I'm so grateful. So you can go to TrumpShowPresident.com. That's TrumpShowPresident.com. download a song, add it to your playlist, use it as a ringtone so that you can get your boogie, oogie, woogie on, okay? That's what you can do. Welcome you all. Welcome to the Diamond So Chit Chat Live Show. I'm your host, Silk, and you're my co-host, my Diamond Dream Team. And as Diamond would always say, it takes a team to build a dream. So I want you to stop what you're doing right now. Be sure to like and share this broadcast, this podcast. I want you to share it everywhere. Share it everywhere and let them know that Silk is on the air. Yes. Tonight you're always supposed to be talking to some J6th, the J6th life after being pardoned. So we want to hear some of their stories because there's still a lot of individuals that is having some issues after being pardoned by President Donald J. Trump. You know, they still want to keep these individuals in a system. Yes, after being held captive, a lot of them for almost 4 years. Yes, during the Biden regime. So we'll talk to those individuals. So be sure to share, and share. Don't forget you all to download the Vocal app and the LindellTV app. It's 2 different apps and it's absolutely free. Download these apps, you all, so we can stay connected, updated, and informed, all right? That's what I want you all to do. Yes, download the apps. Shout out to LindellTV, RSBN Network, Blessed News Network, Diamond and Silk Network, all of the different networks that's streaming and carrying the Diamond Silk Chit Chat Live Show on your platform. I truly do appreciate it. Now, I want to know where you're watching the show from. So go ahead on and put your state where you're watching the show from. I want to know, so I can go ahead on and give your state a shout out, okay? Don't put your whole full address because I can't come to y'all house. You know I can't come to your house. Security ain't going to let me come to your house. I'm telling you, everybody be want, come on down here, Silk. I got a whole room for you. I'm going to make you some collard greens and pig feet. And I'm like, baby, they're not going to let me come on down there. They're not going to let me do it. You know, some people, they want to send food in the mail to me. Oh, Lord. Be looking so good, but they won't let me eat it. They won't let me eat it, all right? So it just is what it is. So let me know what state are you watching this show from, okay? So let's see who's in the house. Hey, y'all, we have North Carolina is in the house. North Carolina checking in. Yes. We have Las Vegas in the house. We have Alabama in the house. Who else? We have Georgia in the house. Western New York is in the house. We have Virginia in the house. Who else we have? North Carolina is in the house. We have Greensboro, North Carolina. I see you, darling, is in the house. Alabama is in the house. West Virginia, Missouri. Yes, darling. Hey, darling, thank you. Tennessee is in the house. Who else is in the house? Oh, my goodness. Who else? Oregon is in the house. South Florida is in the house. Look at everybody coming on in the house. Florida, I see you, baby, is in the house. Yes. Oh, hey, darling. New Jersey is in the house. Philadelphia is in the house. Hey, yes. Somebody said, I'm looking forward to the prep walk. Yeah, I believe it's going to happen too. It's a lot of people that don't have to be prepped. Yeah, they can either do the prep walk or the crip walk, but they need to be walked in handcuffs. Yeah. With everything they done did to this country, yes, they need to be walking like this right here. Yeah. That's what they need to do. That's what needs to happen. Yeah, because they done really messed up this country. Ohio is chiming in. Hello, Ohio. Somebody said Patriots is in the house. I see you, baby. Yes. I thank you all so much for being here with Silk. Now, look, y'all know I got a movie. We got a movie coming out, or a movie that's already out, called Pardon Me, the Beverly B. Williams story. It's Pardon Me, the Beverly B. Williams story. And you all, I want you all to see a quick trailer of this incredible movie.
Get your stuff and leave.
This place is where it all began. Shouldn't I talk to Rodney?
I don't want to hear about no Rodney, no Rambo. I don't know what his name is.
Let go
Bevel and Beatty?
of everything.
Let's do something about it.
Have fun.
You know what? Let's do something about it.
Please, that's why I don't like you. Keep your mouth shut.
Bevel, this is all your fault.
10, 9, 8, 7.
All right, y'all. It is streaming right now at watchpardonme.com. Watchpardonme.com. You can go there. You can rent the movie. Yes, you can. Or you can see who's showing the movie and what location they're showing the movie at. If you want to go in and sit with like-minded individuals or what have you, to see the movie on the screen, to get that theatrical experience. Okay. All right. So that's watchpardonme.com. And the question that everybody's been asking is, who is Bevelyn? Who is Bevelyn? Well, this movie tells you who Bevelyn is and how she got to where she's at through faith. All right. All right. So once again, it's watchpardonme.com. Hey, the weekend's going to be coming up soon. Why not have a movie night? Yes, why not have a movie night? That's right. All right. Watchpardonme.com is where I want you all to go. Okay. All right. All right, you all. We're going to go ahead on and get this party started with our J6th. Joining me right now, you all, please welcome to the show, Mr. Barry Ramey and his wife, Desiree. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, Silk, it's good to see you again.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you all so much for being here. I am loving the background. I'm loving it. Yes.
Thank
And y'all
you.
look like podcasters. Are you doing podcasting?
You know, I am. I started a podcast on Enrique Tarrio's network, the War Boys Studio. I've got my own show, The American Rising, where I just basically attack Marxists and make fun of crazy liberals all day.
Okay. Are you joining him, Desiree? Do you be on the podcast too?
No, I let him take over that.
So you let him all right. I got you. Okay. So real quick, how much time did you do? Which one was in jail? Was it Barry that was in jail?
Yes.
What happened, baby? Tell me what happened. How much time did you do?
I was sentenced to 60 months in federal prison. They were trying to argue for 9.5. They wanted me to sign a plea for 20 years in prison. I am guilty of getting into a physical altercation with one police officer that day after I watched the Capitol Police launch a barrage of rubber munition rounds, tear gas, push an elderly woman to the ground. I had enough at that point, and I decided to clap back at them. They charged me with 2 assaults. The second one never occurred, but I do take responsibility of the first one. I wish it didn't have to happen that way, but you know, as a man, I just won't stand there and watch other men put their hands on vulnerable and elderly people.
So it sounded like you was defending yourself. Did anybody actually hit you, or were you defending the elderly?
It was the breaking point for me was seeing a guy named Joshua Black get shot through the face with a rubber munition round. Shortly after that, there was an elderly woman that was trying to get away from the situation, and she was just shoved to the ground by a Capitol Police officer. That was the moment of 35 minutes of just getting shot at with rubber bullets and tear gas. After seeing that woman, I was somebody that still to this moment backs the blue and thanks police for their service every time I get. That day, those were not police officers that I saw, and it became us versus them.
Yeah. So you said a physical altercation. Was anybody injured? Did you injure the police officer?
No, they originally tried to say that they charged me with aggravated battery with a deadly and dangerous weapon, causing serious bodily injury and harm because of a squirt of pepper spray in the direction of an officer. He testified that he didn't go to the hospital. He worked all day. It was fine, but of course that didn't stop the prosecution of DC to throw the book and try to stick me under the prison for something that if any other DC resident would have done. Would have gotten, 48 hours community service, as Matthew Graves deliberately rendered out that same sentence to somebody else that put their hands on a Capitol Police officer. It's just the difference is that person was a pro-Hamas supporter and I'm a Trump supporter.
Wow. Or they would have got a cashless bail and got, been released right back out on the street. So were you in prison whenever you was pardoned by President Trump?
I was actually in the halfway house. I was in the halfway house for just about 2 months on an ankle monitor. I'd done your show at that point from inside the halfway house, and about 2 months in the halfway house, Donald Trump, and we got a man back in the White House, and the pardons came
real
through.
Man. Yeah, we got a real man, not a vegetable. We got a real man, not a vegetable, and I ain't talking about no cucumber or no collard greens. We got a real man in there. back in the White House. So now, Desiree, let me ask you this question. Now, are you all married, if you don't mind me asking?
Not yet. We're
Not
still
yet,
in
but
that fiance
you was
stage.
with him. You was with
Yes.
him during this
No, not
time?
on January 6th. I was when they arrested him, he was at my apartment. And so I've been behind the scenes for the entire time, doing all the legwork and all the
Yeah.
coordination and making sure that he got taken care of and wasn't left behind.
All right. So y'all were together at the time doing this
Oh
whole
yeah.
thing with him being locked up and all of that in
Oh
the
yeah.
Oh yeah.
halfway house. So let me ask you this as a woman where your man is locked up and so forth, and now he's home. What is that like with him being home after how much time did you do?
Almost 3 years in federal custody.
3 years and halfway. Yeah. How is it with your man being home?
Yeah, in a way it's kind of a loaded question, because obviously I'm going to be happy that he's home and all of that, but there's a lot that we went through in the last 3 years that
Yeah.
causes emotional distress, physical distress, all of these things, and so that plays a part in the reacclimation, to getting things back in gear. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been, I would say, a little bit of a roller coaster, and I've also had my own health issues in the meantime. And so, but our love is strong and our faith is strong. We know that God put us together. And so we lean on that. And, as far as I'm concerned, it's nothing but looking forward.
That's great. That's great. Now I got to ask you about his mental capacity. Sorry, Barry. We got to talk about you while you're right here. Let me
Go
tell you
ahead.
something. A lot of people be like, Silk, I want to be cautious when I say this right here. I let them know if I say something to you, I can say it again to that person if I have something to say about that person. So we're going to talk about you right now, right here in your face, Barry. Okay. Desiree, listen to me. I want to know about this man's mental capacity because see, you got to remember that a lot of these individuals was locked up. Really, they was held captive, is what it
Yeah.
was. Okay,
Yeah.
and going through the mental anguish of being held captive for merely protesting the stolen election of 2020 and for defending humanity after everything that had just happened. He's in there for 3.5 years. All right. So now that he's home, mentally, how is Barry?
Well, I think you probably would have to ask Barry on that. But
Okay.
I see on my side of things, obviously Barry's a very strong person. And when I compare what I see with other J6ers, I'm very impressed with how he's really like launched the podcast. He's a fighter, he's a
Yeah.
very strong person. And that's one of the things that attracted me to him. And it's one
Yeah.
of the things I admire about him so much, and regardless of how things have affected him, he really puts his foot forward and keeps moving, and so, like I said, it's been a bit of a roller coaster up and down, and,
Yeah.
he has his good days and his bad days, but in
We
the
all
end,
do.
he's moving forward, and I couldn't be happier about that because it's something to see someone be um, persecuted the way that they were and then not let that affect them in such a way that it puts them in a hole. He's
Yeah.
he's a consistently, I mean, from, I think it was the first, within the first month we were up in Palm Beach, and he's speaking in front of people and saying, like, we got to be against, these Marxist communists,
Yeah.
and people need to hear the story, and so that he's a very outspoken, very strong individual. It's one of the things I admire about him.
How long were you all together before he went to prison?
2 years.
2 years, 2 years. Okay,
Yeah.
Barry, it's back on you. See, it's good to get it from somebody else's perspective when they're on the outside looking in. Okay. Now we want to go within, Barry. How is it really mentally when you think about being held captive under the Biden regime and knowing that you shouldn't even have been there based off of what those officers had did to the crowd to provoke and incite the violence that we did see via the video. So how are you mentally doing?
I I did not think it was going to be as hard as it is. I didn't think 3 years was that big of a deal. Well, when I got out, I quickly realized there was a lot of catching up to do and a lot of emotional y- processing that I was not able to do in prison. As a man, you're taught to be tough. Whether you're tough or not, when you go to prison, you better be tough or you better die
Right.
trying. And that's the mentality you have to have. The Biden regime wanted me to break down. They wanted all of us to hate the Constitution, to hate the country. But it wasn't the country or the Constitution's fault. It was people that don't care about the country or the Constitution's fault. So
Yeah.
I have struggled with internal depression since I've got out, and I
Right.
never had this problem in my life. However, on my show I'd say about a month ago, me and Enrique Tario interviewed a 10-year-old girl who is number 6 in the country right now, in the whole country for jujitsu. And she has to fight boys in order to rank that. And at 10 years old, this little girl has more motivation to compete in her sport and still tell the world that boys disguised as girls competing against girls is wrong and it shouldn't be done. And to hear this child who's going to public school, who's indoctrinated
Mhm.
by these Marxisms, still say, you know what? No, that is wrong, and I'll fight you to prove it. That's why I'm not mad at the government. That's why I'm not mad at the country, because the country is that little girl. And that little girl who sees through this Marxist indoctrination of our children is still willing to say, hey, this is right and wrong. Well, there's still a reason to fight. There's still a reason to get up and be happy. There's still a reason to love this Constitution, because that little girl is America. And there's still a
Yeah.
fight to do.
Yeah, that's right. See, when you talk about internal depression, I got where you're coming from on that. Because now that you have this podcast, you can feel liberated because you got a place where you're not being censored and you're able to just speak it out, okay? Instead of
Right.
hold it in. A lot of people hold it in and then they just blow up. But you have a
Yeah.
place and a space, and you have a lovely support system. Yes, a lovely, she's beautiful.
Thank
You
you.
you went up, didn't you? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
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 You
Definitely.
yes, 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 yes. And so with you having that system and with you having the outlet to be able to just speak the truth about it, that feels liberating. And that will, I'm pretty sure, helps when it comes down to the internal depression. That's something that we all don't see, but you can feel this thing, correct?
For sure. It does feel good. When they held us in prison, they prevented us from speaking to the media. I was moved
Right.
from 14 facilities in 16 months before trial, sent to 17 different prisons total before ending up in Miami. They threw me in the shoe. They locked me in solitary confinement. They falsely accused me of writing news articles. The counterterrorism unit of the Bureau of Prisons was monitoring her social media and having me call her and remove posts that were anti Biden and pro Trump.
Right.
And so to be out now and have a megaphone where you tried to shut me up and you put me in prison,
Yeah.
and I'm back now, and
Come on.
it's still a big you.
Yeah, you back stronger, better, bigger, and better than ever. And now you are able to just voice your opinion because you lived it now. You've been there, you lived it, and you're able to help the next person. Now, are you back to working or you're just doing a podcast?
Well, yes, that's what a lot of the J6ers are discovering, is that it's not easy to get work now with your name plastered across the news. Even if a company is more conservative leaning, they're still reluctant to hire these men and women because of the stigma around their cases. You still Google
Yeah,
their name and all this comes up. So I'm finding it that the only way to survive now is to build your own platform and
yeah.
and go at it like that. So Enrique has started his company 1776.shop, and we've been able to start our own store where we make these T-shirts that are
Mm.
guaranteed to offend every liberal that you walk past, and that's our mission in life. outside exposing the Patriot Act, of course. But we're able to get started and just become entrepreneurs because, well, America provides the platform, and now we have to, because we have no other choice. But thank God we live in this great country.
That's right. That's right. The land of the free, the home of the brave, baby. Well, Barry and Desiree, I want to say thank you all so much for being a part of the show, on the show, to tell your side of the story, life after being pardoned. Well, you was your sentence commuted, or you was just
No, I was fully pardoned. And Silk, real quick, not to take up too much of your time, I would like to bring up that point that you mentioned. There is still 12 men and women that do not have a pardon. The Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, Ethan Nordine, Joe Biggs, Zachary Reels, Stuart Rhodes, Kelly Meggs, Jessica Watkins, Dominic Pizzola. These are some of the most innocent people involved in all of this. And when I say I got into a physical altercation and I take responsibility, it's because if you need to point at a bad guy that day, then you could point at someone that like me. So then that means you have to look at the 1,500 other people that did nothing wrong that day. Some of them were sentenced to more prison time than I was. So if I'm the bad guy, they're innocent, and we need to pardon the rest of them.
And a lot of them wasn't even there in D.C. It was still sentenced. It's so sad. Well, I believe I have faith to believe that everything is going to work itself right on out. And you're absolutely right. Everybody needs a full pardon, and then they need monetary. Y'all need reparations. Yes, you surely do, for all of the hell that they put you through. And then the partners, your family members, they need reparations too, because they also went through the hell with you. All right, Barry and Desiree, it's been real fun having you all on. God bless you too. God bless you.
Thank you, Silk. God bless you.
All right, y'all. Before we move on to our next guest, it's time for a break, y'all. It is time for a break. So we'll be right back with more Diamond and Silk Chit Chat.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LindellTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to LindellTV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now. Whether it's being a weekend warrior or spending time with your family, feeling your best is the key to doing the things you love. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Nirvanta. It's a natural solution designed to help you stay active and live well naturally. Nirvanta is a topical blend of all natural essential oils like frankincense, myrrh, and a proprietary gold standard plant stock extract. It's perfect for your hands, feet, knees, back, or anywhere else that needs a little extra care. Use Nirvanta proactively as part of your daily maintenance routine, and you're guaranteed you're going to feel the difference. Simply massage Nirvanta in for at least 60 seconds, 2 to 3 times a day to get the best results. And if you're not completely satisfied, you get your money back, no questions asked. There's simply no risk and no reason not to try Nervanta today. Right now, you get 15% off with code Lindell exclusively at NirvantaHealth.com. So stop reaching out for that medicine cabinet. Get Nervanta instead and experience the difference. Go to NirvantaHealth.com. Use code Lindell to get 15% off today. Nervanta Health. Live well naturally. With everybody talking about making America healthy again, I thought today'd be a great day to talk to all my fellow patriots about the importance of making your homes healthy again. Well, we have proudly partnered with airwaterhealing.com and their revolutionary whole home air purification system. The V3 from Air Water Healing does 3,000 square feet of purification. It eliminates dust, mold, viruses, and odors. But here's the part I love. They require no filters to ever be changed and virtually no maintenance. Whether you suffer from asthma, allergies, seasonal bronchitis, or just want to protect your family from the flu or even greater threats, don't wait to get your V3 from airwaterhealing.com today. Use code Lindell for 20% off in savings and free shipping. That's promo code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com. Too many pharmacies and insurance companies are blocking the medications that actually work. That's why I recommend All Family Pharmacy. They give you access to treatments like ivermectin now, starting at just $2 a capsule. They also have methylene blue, hydroxychloroquine, and so much more. They're helping you stay prepared, and they've dropped their prices by 25%. Also use promo code Lindell10, you save even more. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Use promo code Lindell10 and get the medicine you need.
All right, you all, let's go ahead and let's welcome Miss Cassie Cusick to the show. Mr. Cat. Oh my God, say your name.
Casey.
Casey. All right.
It's Casey.
Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Casey. All right. Look like Cassie to me. All right. That's the way they spell it. That's the way they got it
Hey.
spelled here. All right, sweetheart.
I've been called worse by the federal government, so that's okay.
Oh my God. Don't feel bad. I was called a white supremacist and I'm a black woman. So it's all good. It's all good. All right. And yes, I said you all need restitution, reparations, but you need restitution. Somebody corrected me online. They know what I'm talking about. Y'all, everybody needs to be made whole. Everybody that was held captive by the Biden regime. So let us know what went on with you. Did you actually do time in prison?
I actually did. You know, I got me, my father, and there was another gentleman who was one of our friends. We're all ended up consolidated into the same case. My father, who is a pastor of 40 years, you know, he's a 73-year-old man, Vietnam vet, Purple Heart veteran, never committed a crime a day in his life, you know, somehow became an insurrectionist after walking to the Capitol. But we actually did. We went through almost 3.5 years of court battling with 3 misdemeanor charges, and then they slapped a 4th misdemeanor charge on us about, I don't know, a month or so in, because they gave it that same charge to everybody. But we just refused to bow. We had many attorneys that were out there trying to get us to plea, and we felt the same way. We weren't going to plead guilty to something a crime that we obviously didn't commit. We weren't disruptive or disorderly. We didn't disrupt property. We didn't do any of those things. You know, I heard the gentleman's story on before. He was treated terribly, and there are many that were treated like him much worse than what we got. But I will say, from the time that we were arrested on, so they showed up at this gentleman's house January 20th, probably 2 hours after the inauguration of Biden, and the FBI shows up at his house. Someone called the police on him, so one of his friends or relatives there close by called the police on him, the FBI, and told him that he was in D.C. He told them who he went with. That's how we all got brought into that. Mm-hmm. But they began to follow us for 6 months. They followed us around, wasting time, you know, following us over 3 misdemeanor charges, including the fact that during our trial, which happened 2.5 years later, when asked, the captain of the D.C. police that was in the Capitol building, if these men, because they showed them what we did when we walked inside, I had to use the bathroom when we went there. We actually, so just saying, we went to DC solely for the rally. We had no idea about the Capitol. Halfway through the rally, President Trump mentions, after this, we're going to go down to the Capitol and I'm going to come with you. And we thought that was going to be a great, experience. There's nothing else to do in DC. Everything's closed anyways. So once we went down there, we walked. It was already covered in people. We didn't see any of the violence. We didn't see any of that stuff. We walked around the side of the Capitol building, ended up out there for a couple, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes, stood around, everybody talking. We saw people going in and out, high-fiving police officers, taking pictures with them. Finally, I had to use a restroom, and we decided we were going to go in because they said they were letting people in. So we did. I even asked the police officer where the bathroom was. He showed me, went to the restroom. There was like a 50-person line. I said, forget this. We turned around, we walked back out. So from then, after that tip was given to the FBI decided to follow us, go into all of our banking, all of our computers, disrupt our entire life, showed up at my house. The party of no guns shows up at my house with AR-15s drawn on me, my wife, and at the time, my 3-year-old, my 1-year-old, probably 15 to 20 of them, and, beating on the door. Took us to Orlando that day. This was in Florida. So he took us to, the guy, well, first of all, he could see I was shaking because they all have weapons on us. He opens the warrant and says, look, here it says DC, District of Columbia. He's like, man, we're just doing our job. And I said, oh, that sounds too familiar. We hear that so often with just doing our job. That's what they said back in World War II. And so, going through the whole process, it was horrible. It was rough. It was grueling. And everybody got this that got arrested and that dealt with this. I know, these local hit pieces that were put out on each of us to humiliate you. I lost my small business. We couldn't get work. We ended up having to sell our house, went through hundreds of thousands of dollars on attorney fees to fight this thing. But we just weren't going to back down. To show you how silly it was that they even bothered to put us in prison, the prison guards in Texarkana told me, we cannot believe that you're at this prison for 10 days. That's what the judge ended up giving us, 10 days, 2 years probation, which we were already on probation, which that's something people don't realize. When these Jan 6ers were arrested and arraigned, you were put on pretrial release. You are on probation. To leave your district, you have to have permission. Every month, you have to share with them how much money's in your bank account. You have to tell them if you want to purchase something over $500. I mean, that, and they show up at your house once every quarter to walk around your house, look in your rooms, make sure you're not hiding things, make sure you don't have weapons at your house. Because, of course, we all, although we weren't even convicted, had to turn in our firearms. I mean, this is the guards at the prison told me that this was unconstitutional. So to go on top of what you said, because I know you have a short time, there's so much to say, but I will say January 6ers definitely need restitution. And President Trump has mentioned it multiple times, but there are many men out there that I know and have talked to. I met 2 down in Texarkana, Texas, Robert Wayne Dennis, and was one of them. And he's a 63-year-old man that was arrested for assaulting a police officer, when in the video it obviously shows he was assaulted by a police officer. He spent 3 years in prison. It was a minimum security prison. However, he came out devastated. He lost his everything. He has no home to go to. He has no family to go to. You can't just up and start, working without any. He has nothing, literally nothing. And so there's people like him that are, their lives are Sarah McAbee and her husband, separated after getting married for 4 years as newlyweds. This is unheard of over things, that the government's behind. I'm thankful that they finally have come out and said, Congress is now going to have a real January 6th committee and investigate exactly what happened that day. I think people are going to be pretty surprised what they're going to find out.
Oh yeah. I've been doing this here since January the 6th and talking to different people and different things. So I've learned a whole lot. I've seen a whole lot, especially when it comes down to certain videos that I can't even show, but it shows the truth. And it's like, where the hell is Congress? Where is Mike Johnson? They want to talk about the Epstein files. What about the J6th files? What about the J6th videos that they've been saying that they was going to show us? Is nowhere to be found. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that means that you wasn't in prison at the time when President Trump pardoned you.
No, ma'am, I was not. I was still on probation. And the good news is, actually, me and my father both appealed the decision. So they were in the process. We were in the process of the appeal. The case had been heard, but no decision had been made. So we were actually completely acquitted. Charges dropped completely. We did get a pardon form but it's, we didn't need the pardon form because our case was completely dropped.
Drop. Some of y'all was also falsely imprisoned. See, this brings me back to this point now. This is false, being falsely in prison, held captive. You all need to getting more than just restitution. You need to be made whole. You need to be completely be made whole. Yeah. So now that you're out, go ahead, darling.
No, I was just going to say, while I was in there, that's what the guards said. There is no prisoners in here without a felony. You have no felonies? I said, no. And they could see the charges. They said, you don't even belong in here. We can't believe that you're even here. We can't even believe it. They have, orientation at the prison. And I didn't even get to orientation because I was there for 10 days. But the thing I will tell you that I am thankful for, and my father would say the same thing, our prison system is so broken and so crooked and so corrupt. At the highest level, at the federal level, which is where I was, it would make people, they wouldn't treat animals that way. And all that I took from this, the day I got out was the day before Thanksgiving in 2023. And I cried the first hour because I was so heartbroken at what these men, these are men, many of them in there, some belong there, don't belong there, but there's men in there and they are being treated worse than animals. There's roaches on the water filtration system. All the food's expired, all of it. Commissary, they're ripping them off, charging them more money than they even, than that stuff's even worth, and selling expired goods. The guards are corrupt. There's constantly drug drops. And I said in there when they would say there was a drug drop, I said, I wonder if they're the ones dropping them. Who's doing the drone drops, And they can't figure that out. This is a federal prison. And so just disgusting condition, roaches, it's just stuff that people just don't realize how broken our prison system. And I am grateful that I do realize that because I was completely unaware of it before then.
Quick question, last question. Now that you're out, do you have a job? Are you able to get a job? Is your name in the archive or on social media that's keeping you from getting a job?
I finally was able to. It's kind of a pretty miraculous story. I know we don't have time to talk about it now, but I was able to get a job through a friend, and I'm so grateful for it. But for a time, it was probably a few years, especially before President Trump got back in and pardoned all of us, that we had to live off funds, from selling our house and things like that. And as a husband to a wife and kids, it's a tough situation to be in. And with inflation and everything, you can't just have a regular job. You got to have a job, to provide for your family. And like I said, I'm not the only one. There's so many of us out there that people just have, if they heard their stories, it would blow their mind. But yes, ma'am, I do now have a job, and I am thankful for that. And I also have a podcast. It's called the Watchman Podcast. It's on Rumble. Please go like, share, subscribe it, and I wanted to start one for a long time, but after the FBI showed up with guns drawn at my front door, I said, well, now's the time because this is unbelievable.
Yeah. And I know you feel liberated when you're speaking out about all of the different the unjust situation that you and your family was in. Casey, I want to say thank you so much, darling, for being on the Diamond and Silk Chit Chat live show to share your story. And we'll get you back as time progresses because we're going to want to hear more, as time go on, that you all actually get your restitution, especially when you get your restitution. I want to hear about all of that.
Ma'am.
We can all sing "Oh Happy Day." All right. Thank you, darling, so much for being on. God bless. All right, you all. I have one more individuals, Mr. Robert Morse. Come on, let's welcome him in now. Robert. Hello, Robert.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. It is going great. Thank you so much for being on the show. So, were you actually still locked up or in jail whenever you was pardoned or your sentence was commuted?
Yeah, so after spending 3.5 years behind bars, I was sent to the Pittsburgh halfway house, and that's where I was escorted out of the building around 11:45 p.m. at night after Trump signed my pardon around 8 p.m. And as a matter of fact, the halfway house didn't want to let me go, and that's kind of the same story for a lot of us. As a matter of fact, I think Barry Ramey also wasn't allowed to leave his halfway house regardless of a presidential pardon, which is ridiculous. I mean, that's the law of the land, man. You can't be telling the president, no, that dude's the leader of the free world. Who do you think you is? So that was pretty wild. And Yeah, and that night, actually, instead of going home, I drove from Pittsburgh down to the DC jail so I could be there to watch the rest of my January 6th brothers and sisters be released out of the DC gulag. So that was pretty cool as well.
What did they have you locked up for? For 3.5 years? What were you locked up for?
Well, the funny thing about that is because I didn't want to take the plea deal, I was superseded 5 times. And with each superseding indictment, they added more charges. So at one point in time, I was looking at 45 charges. But what I was found guilty of at my trial was 3. I know it's pretty ridiculous. I was found guilty of simple assault, which if I would have come over to your house and flick you in the elbow right now, I'd have been found guilty of simple assault. I was also found guilty of robbery, which I don't know how you take a fence post or a shield and put it in your back pocket and run off with it. That doesn't make any sense. In addition to that, the charge was written in such a way that it only is liable underneath the conditions of maritime waters or a territory. So that also doesn't make sense. And then in addition to that too, my third and final charge that I was found guilty of was the 1512 charge, which is, as you recall, the obstruction of an official proceeding. And it was thrown out by the Supreme Court last summer. So I was convicted of a charge that the judges knew was unconstitutional the moment that I was convicted of it. So if our Trump administration's got some stones, I think these federal judges are going to end up having to do some time in the DC gulag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they need to
Because
because
them people broke the law for real.
I'm about to say they broke the law, they violated the law, they violated your rights, they violated the Constitution,
Yeah.
they violate your right to be able to freely protest. They incited the violence, they incited the
They
riots,
did.
they incited everything that was there according to the video. They are the ones that
Yes.
started it. And so you was
Well, and that's why it
basically
took them so long to release the video. That's why it took around 30 months for the video archives of January 6th to be released, because the DC puppeteers didn't want the footage of the fact that they orchestrated the violence, Antifa members being undercover, FBI agents being undercover, everybody's acting like a Trump supporter. Meanwhile, I would be willing to bet, and I'm not even kidding you, that only 1/3 of the people within the crowd of January 6th were actually honest January 6th political protesters that were there for the right reasons. 2/3 of that crowd, I think, were there to ensnare the innocent, naive voters who had voted for Trump twice in a row and had their election stolen.
Yeah, that's
It's that ugly.
That's how they operate. That's how they operate.
Yes.
They can be holding something. We don't show up there protesting and throwing stuff and all of that. But then when you go to hold something, here come their goons. They pay protesters out like they're so against it. So you was falsely imprisoned and basically held captive for 3.5
Yes, ma'am. I'm a
years.
hostage.
Yeah, you are a hostage. That's right. Your life. Oh my goodness. So now that
And
you've
you know
been
what
out,
else is crazy on top of that point
what
too? It took a movement in order to actually address the idea that I would be a hostage. I'd like to give my boy Dave Summerall a shout out right now, because him and all of his crew were able to put the word out there that we weren't just prisoners, we were American hostages. And I've actually got some cool news, but we can get to there a little bit. But in his 1A Film Fest, he was one of the people that was promoting the documentaries to shift the public narrative in order to have the beliefs, the accurate beliefs that you have today. He exposed the footage. He exposed the fact that no police were killed that day, but 4 patriots were killed that day, and was able to uncover the footage of Kevin Greasman and Benjamin Phillips dying while the cops looked the other way. I mean, it's sick. So Dave Summerall needs a good shout out. He doesn't get thanked enough for his work, and I'm happy to be his friend. But yeah, I digress.
All right, all right. Was it something else that you wanted to talk about real quick? I got a few minutes. You said it was something else you wanted to talk about as well.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to know what the conditions in jail were like. And I'm writing a second book about that. It's about to drop any minute now. The first one that I've written with my buddy Kelly Meggs, we actually wrote while we were in prison. We had the book smuggled out of prison, and it's available now on Amazon. It's crazy. I can't even believe this happened in America. But the book is called One Question Remains. You can find it on Amazon. And I would highly recommend you to personally read this and for your audience to read this, because One Question Remains is a book that is essentially a kit to uncover exactly how January 6th was none other than a lobster trap, in addition to offering an opportunity for people to learn how to move forward. In the book, you'll find tons of biblical defiant scripture. You'll find quotes from our founding fathers. You'll find history lessons. I am a high school history teacher, by the way. And so One Question Remains isn't just a book. It's a toolkit to understand how we were lied to as a nation, how January 6th was set up from 2016, I might add, and it's a good kickstart to my career as a content creator. Like I said, there's a second book that's about to drop because the only complaint that I got from One Question Remains was that it wasn't loaded with stories from what it was like behind bars. I only give myself about 3 paragraphs in One Question Remains, but this next book that's coming out is loaded with 41 short stories about what it was like behind bars. They'll make you laugh, they'll make you cry. But it was also an idea that came to me while I was on the road, building something else that's very special, which I'll talk about here in a sec. But Mickey Whithoff, the mother of Ashley Babbitt, wrote the foreword for this book that's about to drop. So
Oh,
it's going to be a
wow.
very exciting read.
All right. Go ahead and say what else you got to say to me. This is your time. I got 2 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. Well, so with everything that I had seen from a Ranger to a Penn State grad to a January 6th political prisoner, you know, my entire life's work has been based off of making sure that the next generation can keep this republic. And we are miserably
Yeah.
close to an irredeemable edge in our nation's history. So to try and stop the death of the West, I have decided that, you know what? They made a mistake. They should have left me in that lone high school history classroom because I would have stayed there. But now I'm about to do something that's going to put me in classrooms all across the country, if not the planet. And this is what it is.
What is it?
God gave me a story that I have written a script for to make a movie out of. Now, this story is about a man whose history was deliberately hidden from you so that nobody would ever be as defiant to tyranny or as bold against a government injustice as this guy really was. He also helped influence the words of Jesus Christ and what he said to the disciples. So this story is pretty epic. But in order to make sure that this story remains as wholesome and as pure and as encouraging for our constitutional republic, I've decided to create a film company around it. So I have recently just launched what's known as Lego Man Productions. It is a faith-based film company where we are reclaiming our culture, we are restoring our heroes, and we are going to produce films worth fighting for. And so that is essentially the whole point of what I'm up to now. This is why I'm excited to talk to you, because out of all the January 6th mess, I have something to show you and the world that we're not done. As a matter of fact, we have not even yet begun to fight. Lego Man Productions is literally a J6th film company where we're going to make movies that honor God and tell stories of our nation's heroes and heroes of the world who were deliberately hidden so that no one would be as heroic or as brave as these men and women really were. And that's what we need. Our next generation needs those heroes, those idols. There's a vacancy of it in Hollywood for a reason. There's a vacancy of people that lived a life of integrity for a reason. So in order to fill that void and to launch an assault against Hollywood, we're going to chop the giant's head off with its own sword and provide hope to the next generation and a reason for the old generation to hang on just a little bit longer.
That's right. I absolutely love it, Robert, because we just got finished making a movie, Pardon Me, the Bevelyn B. Williams story. She was also pardoned by President Donald J. Trump, sentenced to 41 months in prison under the Biden regime and pardoned. Yeah, for she's a pro-lifer. And so Hollywood want the movie. No theaters in America want this movie to play in the theaters in America. All right. So now
isn't that crazy?
We're doing it and built our own platform to bring it in-house so people can be able to see the movie. I understand exactly what you're talking about. Now, Robert, I want to say thank you so much, darling, for being on the show, for sharing your story. And I got to get you back on so we can talk more about your adventure, okay? God bless you, sir.
Well, sounds like we got a lot to talk about and a lot in common. Thank you so much for being a real patriot out there and holding it down.
Thank you, darling. God bless you. All right, you all. So that was Robert. So much going on, you all, with our J6thers. And I'm grateful to be able to talk to them. Listen, don't forget to go to watchpardonme.com, so that you all can see this incredible movie. Don't forget, every day at 11:21, a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We stop what we're doing and we pray. I pray for you. You pray for me. We pray for each other. Pray for President Donald J. Trump and his family. Pray for his safety. Pray for God to heal the land. So in the meantime, and in between time, I look forward to seeing you next time right here on Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live. Bye-bye.